Good evening, friends. Today we will discuss about one more name reaction or organic chemistry that is called Riffa-Matsker reaction or Riffa-Matsker condensation reaction. Okay, see, in this particular reaction, there is an insertion of metal into the reaction medium. Okay, hence it is called metal insertion reaction, as well as it is one type of coupling reaction. Okay, so hence it is called, it is a metal insertion condensation reaction in which carbonyl compounds like aldehydes or ketones combined with alpha haloesters to yield beta hydroxy esters. Okay, these beta hydroxy esters undergo dehydration to yield alpha beta unsaturated esters. Alpha beta unsaturated esters further undergo hydrolysis to yield alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds. Okay, I am going to explain about this particular reaction once again. It is a metal insertion condensation reaction, okay, in which carbonyl compounds treated with alpha haloesters to yield beta hydroxy esters. Upon hydrolysis, they yield carboxylic acids. Before going to convert into beta hydroxy esters to alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compounds, there is a dehydration reaction to yield alpha beta unsaturated esters. Let us see the reaction, overall reaction. Okay, see, this is the definition of Riffa-Matsker reaction. Riffa-Matsker reaction is a metal insertion condensation reaction in which carbonyl compounds and alpha haloesters react together to yield beta hydroxy esters as a product. This product undergo dehydration to yield alpha beta unsaturated esters. Esters readily undergo hydrolysis to yield alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids. Okay, so these are only formed after hydrolysis. For conversion of these particular beta hydroxy esters to alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acid, there is another reaction between them, that is called dehydration. Dehydration of beta hydroxy esters to yield alpha beta unsaturated esters. Alpha beta unsaturated esters then converted into alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids after hydrolysis process. Let us see the overall reaction of this Riffa-Matsker reaction. It is a carbonyl compound. Its name is acetone. When combined with alpha bromo ethyl acetate, this is alpha carbon atom, alpha bromo ethyl acetate, in presence of a metal called zinc, it is going to produce beta hydroxy ester. Beta hydroxy ester. So, where did you get that hydrogen here? In presence of water. In presence of water. Next, the same alpha, this is beta carbon, beta hydroxy ester undergo dehydration. OH minus, proton from alpha carbon atom, hydroxyl moiety from beta carbon atom. They yield alpha beta unsaturated esters. From here, you know, how will we get alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids? If these undergo hydrolysis, they yield alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids. Okay, what is this? Beta hydroxy ester. It's a beta hydroxy ester. It's a beta hydroxy ester. Should not write comma. Upon dehydration, they yield alpha beta unsaturated esters. These upon hydrolysis they yield alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids. Okay, so this is the overall reaction of Refamadskaya reaction. Okay, let us see the mechanism in this particular reaction. It is completely different mechanism from the rest of all the named reactions. As we have already mentioned that aldol condensation, Claisen condensation and Cannizzaro reaction. Okay, those mechanisms are completely different and this mechanism is completely different because of this metal ion. Let us see how this particular metal ion is going to play a role in the formation of beta hydroxy esters as well as alpha beta unsaturated esters. Okay. Okay, let us see. Before going to know about that mechanism, first of all, you should know about the metal that is called zinc. Its atomic number is 30. Its electron configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p6. So for how many electrons are finished? 2 plus 2, 4 plus 2, 10 plus 2, 12 plus 6, 18. Later on, 4s2, 20. The next electron enters into the d orbital of third shell, 10, 30. 2 plus 2 plus 6, 10. 2 plus 2 plus 6, 10. 20 plus 1, 10. Okay. So, after writing this type of electron configuration, we can't able to predict what is happening in the outermost orbit. Here the outermost orbit is 4th orbit. This is the outermost orbit, 4th orbit. It's a paired electron. It's a paired electron. But you know very well about the excited state of every element electron configuration. This is the ground state electron configuration. It is a ground state electron configuration. Once you write the excited state of electron configuration, what will happen? Whatever the paired electrons are there in the outermost orbit, those particular electrons, from those particular electrons, one of the paired electron enters into the empty lobes of same cell. So that means one of the paired electron of s electron enters into one of the empty lobe of p orbital in the same orbital in the same shell. 4s1, 4p1, because p orbital contains 3 lobes. Now you tell me how many unpaired electrons are there? In this particular case, 2 unpaired electrons. 2 unpaired electrons at zinc. Okay, so that's why in the reaction medium, zinc is going to exhibit in this particular 2 unpaired electrons format. It is none other than zinc free radical. Zinc free radical. Now we can easily understand the reaction mechanism. Okay, so that's why most of the cases zinc would like to lose 2 electrons. That's why zinc is going to exhibit Zn plus 2. For example, zinc chloride, ZnCl2, zinc oxide, ZnO, zinc bromide, ZnBr2. Okay, because here the oxidation state is +2 because zinc contains 2 unpaired electrons in the outermost shell. When it is involved in the reaction, it is ready to donate 2 electrons. Okay, that is the reason zinc is going to exhibit +2 ionic state. Okay, now come to the reaction mechanism. Okay. See, this is alpha halo ester. This alpha halo ester in presence of zinc, what does it has? 2 unpaired electrons. Free radical or ionic radical? Free radical. So the same molecule undergo homolytic fission. At where? Wherever the weak bond is there, that undergo homolytic fission. Okay, here there is a polar bond. That polar bond undergo homolytic fission. Means if this particular bond undergo homolytic bond dissociation, what will happen? Chlorine free radical and the rest of ester moiety containing free radical. Now zinc come into the picture. What does it form now? It is going to form a metal inserted ester. One of the free radical combined with one of the free radical of chlorine, one of the free radical combined with one of the free radical of CH2 moiety. So now there is an insertion of metal into the ester. Whenever the metal insert into an ester, it's highly unstable. It's highly unstable because of, you know very well about the carbonyl compounds. It is one type of C double bond O group. Okay, it undergo, just to consider it is a ketone moiety that undergo ketoenol tautomerization. What is that? See, it undergo ketoenol tautomerization. Like that pi bond shifted to alpha carbon atom. Now whatever the zinc chlorine bond is there shifted to oxygen. Now it is purely non-polar because which one is more electronegative? Carbon is more electronegative than zinc. That's why it is a highly polar bond. Highly polar bond shifted to oxygen. The zinc was already bonded with whom? Chlorine. So the rest of moiety remains as such only. Do you know what is this? It is a zinc enolate. What is that? It's a zinc enolate. It is a zinc enolate. That zinc enolate is responsible for proceeding further reaction. Okay, so at the same time, due to its instability, it reverts back. Moreover, what type of bond between carbon and zinc here? That is highly polar bond. Hence, this will converted into zinc. Which one is more electronegative? Carbon. So the bond between zinc and carbon more dense towards to carbon. Hence, carbon attains negative charge. Zinc attains positive charge. So, whatever the zinc enolate ion acts as a nucleophile. It readily generates a carbanion nucleophile because of its instability. Okay, this particular zinc enolate is also called Riffermatsky reagent. That's only responsible for formation of products in this particular reaction. Okay, so whatever the alpha halo ester is there, in presence of zinc, it inserted in the reaction itself. Due to the polarity between carbon and zinc, it undergo one type of isomerization to yield zinc enolate, which acts as a reagent in this particular reaction. Hence, it is called Riffermatsky reagent. This zinc enolate is highly unstable, means more reactive. So that's why it convert back to its complete polar form to generate carbanion. What is that? Carbanion. Okay, so this is the step 1 reaction. This is the step 1 reaction. In the step 1 reaction, formation of Riffermatsky reagent. That is the heading of step 1. So under that, you can write the description. Alpha haloesters in presence of zinc undergo metal insertion process to yield a highly reactive zinc enolate, which acts as a reagent in this particular reaction. Okay, it is responsible for the generation of a nucleophile called carbanion. Okay, this is the step 1 reaction in this particular case. Let's come to the step 2. What is step 2? This was the carbonyl compound I have taken. This carbonyl compound, I want to start from the beginning itself. Is get attacked by the nucleophile, which is obtained from zinc enolate. So, what is happening in this particular case? It attacks onto the electrophilic carbon of carbonyl compound, thereby 5 bonded electrons migrate to oxygen. You know very well about in this particular case, you know very well about the intermediate again. What is that? CH3 O minus, another methyl moiety, and the rest of ester moiety to form alkoxide ion, alkoxide form of ester. So, in the next step, it undergo protonation in presence of water. What is step 2? Formation of alkoxide ion. Okay, that is step 2. So, in that particular step 2, the nucleophilic enolate ion attacks on electrophilic carbon of carbonyl compound to yield alkoxide form of ester. That is step 2. Now I am writing step 3. This step 3, in this particular step 3, protonation of alkoxide ion takes place. Protonation of alkoxide is the heading. Okay, in this, alkoxide ion readily undergo protonation. Readily undergo protonation to yield beta hydroxy ester, which is the actual product in our Refamatskaya reaction. Beta hydroxy ester. Okay, so this particular Refamatskaya reaction involves 3 steps. Step 1, formation of Refamatskaya reagent or formation of zinc enolate compound or generation of carbanion. In that particular case, what will happen? So, zinc metal inserted into the alpha halo ester to form zinc enolate compound, which acts as a reagent in this particular reaction. Hence, zinc enolate is called Refamatskaya reagent. That Refamatskaya reagent is highly unstable. So, that's why it readily generates a carbanion which acts as a nucleophile. Come to the step 2. What is the step 2? Formation of alkoxide ion. That is the heading. Under that, you have to write the description. Carbanion attacks onto the electrophilic carbon of carbonyl compound to yield alkoxide form of ester. With the second step is finished. Next, third step, protonation of alkoxide ion to produce beta hydroxy ester. That is the heading. Under that, you write down the description. Alkoxide ion readily undergo protonation in presence of water to yield beta hydroxy esters. If you want to write the fourth step, you can write down. What is the fourth step? Dehydration of beta hydroxy esters. Dehydration of beta hydroxy esters. You have to write the fourth reaction. Formation of, this is the third step. Fourth step, dehydration of beta hydroxy esters to form alpha beta unsaturated esters. Alpha beta, here I have forgotten to write the oxygen because it's an ester moiety. What is step 3? Protonation of alkoxide ion or alkoxide form of ester to form beta hydroxy ester. That is the third step. Fourth step, hydrogen from alpha carbon atom, hydroxyl moiety from beta carbon atom undergo elimination. Yes or no? So that's why what is fourth step? Dehydration of beta hydroxy esters to form alpha beta unsaturated esters. What is fifth step? Hydrolysis of alpha beta unsaturated esters. Hydrolysis of alpha beta unsaturated esters to yield alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids. Because those two reactions were already seen in the previous named reactions. Yes or no? As like in the case of Perkin condensation. Yes or no? And previous, that was Novinagel reaction. Okay, you can see such type of products. So that's why it is a 5-step reaction. In the first step, formation of Refamatskaya reagent. Second step, formation of alkoxide ester. Third step, protonation of alkoxide. Fourth step, dehydration of beta hydroxy esters. Fifth step, hydrolysis of beta hydroxy esters. So thereby we can see alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids. So that's why you can get alpha beta unsaturated carboxylic acids from many named reactions. Okay, so with this the mechanism of Reformat's reaction is finished. Okay, thank you.